But you haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You know, you're right about that. And honest
so
truth is
you are admitting that you're married?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've told her. I've told her that we had this fling.
You didn't tell me you were married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. I did not tell you.
I'm sorry, I won't disrupt you guys anymore. Go ahead.
This courtroom battle is anything but simple. Miss Canada has stepped forward demanding child support and back pay for her 3-year-old child. She claims the man sitting across from her is undeniably the father and must take responsibility. But he isn't backing down so easily from the start. The man disputes paternity, arguing that Miss Canada was possibly involved with other individuals around the time of conception. He insists that without concrete proof, he shouldn't be expected to provide financial support for a child that may not even be his. Tension rises as both parties present their arguments, each determined to prove their side of the story just when the case seems like a standard dispute over child support. A stunning revelation takes the drama to an entirely new level. It turns out the man is married, and in a jaw-dropping twist, Miss Canada works with his wife. The courtroom is left in shock as the pieces start falling into place, exposing a tangled web of personal and professional betrayal. What was supposed to be a straightforward child support case has now become a scandalous mess of secrets, lies, and unexpected connections. With emotions running high and reputations on the line, the final verdict could change everything. Who's telling the truth? Will a paternity test settle the dispute once and for all? And most importantly, how will the wife react when she learns the full extent of the deception? This case is far from over, and the biggest twists may still be ahead.
All rise. Judge Vanderbeek Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1019, Canada case. Judge, both parties have been sworn.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Miss Canada. All right. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
I'm seeking child support and back pay from this man.
Okay, just straightforward. That's what I like. Just get right into it. How old is the child?
The child is now 3 years old.
3 years old.
And I have not received any child support.
In 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Sir, is there a reason you haven't given her any child support in the past 3 years?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
What is that?
We've been discussing the paternity obligation.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, you know, I don't think I was the only person having a fling with Rocky at the time that you know, she and I had that time together. And,
excuse me? Are you implying something?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I understand that you may have been seeing some other people in addition to me. And the reason that I haven't provided
well, those are rumors.
I understand that. I understand that. But you haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You know, you're right about that. And honest truth is
you are admitting that you're married?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've told her. I've told her that we had this fling.
You didn't tell me you were married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. I did not tell you.
I'm sorry, I won't disrupt you guys anymore. Go ahead.
The alleged father argues that he hasn't paid child support because he's unsure the child is his. He insists that Miss Canada was involved with other men at the time, making it unfair to hold him accountable without proof, but Miss Canada isn't backing down. She fires back, exposing his own infidelity. He's married, and to make things even messier, she works with his wife. The courtroom grows tense as accusations fly. What started as a case about child support is unraveled into a web of secrets and betrayal. Now all eyes are on the paternity test. If the child is his, will he finally take responsibility? And how will his wife react when the truth comes out that this case is far from over?
So, you know, from my perspective, Your Honor, I certainly understand the situation. I'm not trying to be hard-hearted, so to speak, about this. But I think that there's some other questions that need to be answered before we agree on paying any kind of support, because at this point we haven't confirmed whose child this is.
Okay, well, I definitely have some questions too, but I don't think they have anything to do with child support. It's more about you guys' backstory, but that has nothing to do with me. However, has this man taken a DNA test at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did he sign anything at the hospital
No, he wasn't
acknowledging that he was the father? Okay. So he does have a valid point. Before we can actually place him on child support, he either has to accept parentage, which, according to what I'm hearing, you're really not accepting it.
He's in denial about his affair and doesn't want his wife to find out.
My wife knows.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
right.
knows now.
He's lying.
You told her?
I would have heard from her by now. I work with him, ma'am.
Oh. At the welding place?
I'm a receptionist there.
Receptionist there, I'm a manager.
That's how we met.
You're her direct manager. Oh, okay. Ooh, wasn't expecting that much tea this morning.
The tension in the courtroom spikes when Miss Canada drops a bombshell. She works with the man's wife at a welding plant. With a pointed glare, she questions whether he's even told his wife about their affair. Gasps ripple through the room as the reality sinks in. The man shifts uncomfortably, his confidence wavering. What started as a dispute over child support has now turned into a full-blown scandal with emotions running high and secrets unraveling. The case takes a dramatic turn. The question now isn't just about paternity. It's about truth, betrayal, and the fallout that's about to come.
So, yeah, he's entitled to a DNA test.
Sure.
Okay, so before we can move forward with anything in terms of child support, looking at your financial documents you provided, he first needs to get a DNA test. So what I can do is you guys go and get the DNA test, then you can come back at a later date, possibly, if he's the father. If he's not the father, you are more than welcome to bring back as many people as necessary. I'm not implying by any means that what he's saying is true.
Right, he's
but if
definitely
he's
the
not
father.
the father, you can bring back as many people as necessary to get DNA testing, and we actually find the father and place him on child support.
Well, I know who it is, so that's not necessary, but thank you.
Okay. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, can we get your assistance in having this thing compelled so that we can get this DNA testing done expeditiously?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it will be done through the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Because they are actually on site in the courtroom, and it will be in the courthouse rather. And it will be much easier and free to you all to go ahead and use their resource.
The judge affirms that before any child support obligations are enforced, the alleged father has the right to a DNA test. To ensure a fair and swift resolution, the court arranges for the test to be conducted through the Attorney General's office at no cost. This ruling momentarily shifts the focus from heated accusations to cold, hard facts. While Miss Canada remains confident the alleged father sees this as his chance to prove his doubts were justified now, everything hinges on the DNA results. Will they confirm his paternity or clear his name? One way or another, the truth is about to come out.
Okay? If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Rocky,
You're welcome.
if I have obligations here, I'll stand behind them.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.